Good morning. Hello. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Hello. 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 Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. Hump day. The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump. Oh, do me, baby. Do the Humpty Hump. You do the Humpty Hump. Oh, do me, baby. How's everybody doing? Good morning, New Jersey. Keep smiling. Keep shining. Knowing you can always count on me. For sure. That's what friends are for. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Talk. I just came from the dermatologist. Oh my God. Oh, you look great. You look great. You look so good. You look awesome. Good job, Liv. Great job, sister. Y'all need sunblock. Y'all need sunblock. Sunblock. Sunscreen. You need sunscreen. Good morning. I'm screaming at my kids because I'm too lazy to get up from the chair and actually go tell them something. Anyway, so it is a beautiful day here in Birmingham right now. And by beautiful, I mean extremely humid and not so beautiful, but it's not raining, which is good. I wanted to talk to you guys about this really interesting conversation that I had yesterday with a friend of mine who has a teenager and teenage angst. Because those of you, I have not parented teenagers yet, but I have been a teenager. And I know that the teenage angst is real. My girls are in bathing suits, so I don't want them to come out the door. So if you see them, give me a warning. Okay. So, what did I want to tell y'all? I wanted to give y'all a shout out about something that I loved yesterday. Damn, I can't remember. Okay, so here's the thing. So a friend of mine is divorced and she has a boyfriend. And her 15-year-old daughter said to her, so what, like, is your boyfriend just going to be staying here all the time now? And she was like, whoa, okay, what I'm not going to have is butterflies trying to attack me, okay? That's what we're not going to do. Nope. No. Okay? You're obviously in distress, but you cannot nosedive me. Okay. Sorry. So let me tell you this story. So my girlfriend calls me and she's like, she is so disrespectful. So I'm like, what happened? She's like, she says to me, oh, so like what? Is your boyfriend just gonna be here all the time? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just curious, what's part of that was disrespectful to you? She's like, well, I don't like the way she said it to me. I said, well, what would have been a better way for her to say it? Because what she's really feeling is, I am dealing with the fact that you and dad are not together anymore. I am trying to process the fact that you have a boyfriend. I don't know yet how I'm going to feel about having him around. And I don't have the communication skills to say, Mom, I don't know how I feel yet about you having a boyfriend. So instead, what I say is, oh, so what, is your boyfriend going to be around all the time now? Because I don't know how to convey to you that I feel a way about what is happening and the changes in my life. I don't know how to maturely say, I don't know that if I want another man around all the time yet. I don't know if I'm comfortable. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But I need to know what's happening here. Okay? A lot of times I think we look at our kids and they go through stages from baby to needing us to do everything, to toddler, to getting a little bit more independent, to that weird age where you scream, put your fucking shoes on 57 times because you know they can put their shoes on, but they won't. Then they get into like that older elementary school age, right? Where they still have a little baby in them, but like they want to be a little bit independent. Then they get to middle school, their body starts to change, shit starts happening, hormones, all of that. And then they get to high school. And in high school, we say things to them like, you're 16 years old. You should know better. You should do better. You should be able to do this. You're a teenager. You're 17. Why am I still picking up, right? So we start putting the you're an adult hat on them as teenagers, right? And I'm sure I'm going to do the same shit. I'm not judging. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay? But what happens is we start viewing them, because our role as caretaker mother has changed so significantly from toddler, put your fucking shoes on, so much that when we look at the teenagers, we look at them as adults. But really, they don't have the intellectual maturity to deal with a lot of what is going on in the world, let alone what is going on in their own homes, right? So what happens is they say things to us that come out as disrespect, right? Now, I grew up, Susan was not trying to reason with me. She was not trying to understand me or decode me. If you disrespected Susan, you got Daffy Duck. You want to know what Daffy Duck is? She would backhand the shit out of you and your mouth would spin all the way around the other side of your face. That's how I grew up. I don't treat my children that way. I don't hit my kids like that. I'll take the damn ice cream, but I'm not backhanding my kids in the mouth, right? So what happens is they don't have the bravery, the emotional intellect to say, like, can we talk about your boyfriend? Because even just saying that feels weird to me. You know, it feels weird to say you have a boyfriend. The whole thing is a foreign concept to me. And I don't know how to have this conversation with you. So I'm going to put it out there. So what, is your boyfriend going to be around all the time? And see if you reassure me that he isn't. You see, because that's all they want. They just want reassurance that whatever insecurity they're dealing with, you will reassure them about. And that is still our job. No matter how big they get, no matter how old they look, no matter how deep their voice is or big their boobs are, whether they have boyfriends or they're whatever, it is still our job as parents to reassure them, to explain things to them. Like my mother used to say, I don't have to explain shit to you because I'm the mother. Okay, like I get it in theory, Susan. And Susan is a metaphor for anybody who thinks and acts like my mother. It's not just my Susan. Like, I get it. You're the mother. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to help me understand why you're making the decisions you're making, why the changes in my life, why, like, when my mother moved my stepfather into my house after my dad died, it was excruciatingly painful for me. It was never explained to me why she was making the choice. I never was afforded understanding or anything. It was because she's the mother and she said so. And that was it, which makes you feel like you are voiceless. So those of you that are dealing with teenagers, let's be better than our mothers. Let's be better than the because I said so. Because our teenagers still need reassurance from us. They still need understanding and explanation from us. And if they are acting out or if they are speaking disrespectfully, think about maybe why. Now, you know your kid. If your kid's just being a dick, then they're just being a dick, right? Oh, Karen, you don't want me to be a therapist, honey. I'm just a woman living, just trying to live. But I appreciate your sweet suggestion. But try to take a look at what's coming at you from your kids, like what sort of the disrespect is, and see if 6'9", and see if there is something that needs to be decoded. Maybe you could take it a step further. Maybe you could say, I don't really like the way you said that to me, but I think we need to have a conversation about what you said to me, right? So I don't really like the fact that you hit me with the, so what, is your boyfriend going to be around here all the time? I don't really like the way you said it, but I think what you said needs to be discussed, because you obviously need to be reassured about what this dynamic is going to look like going forward. And I want to make sure you have that peace of mind. We owe that to our kids. That old school parenting mentality of I don't owe you shit because I'm the mother, because I'm the father, that is tired. It's tired. It's lazy. It doesn't fucking work. Take it from someone like me who ended up going on the most self-destructive path a teenager and then a 20-something could go on. From 16 to 26, I was the most self-destructive human being. And I destroyed anybody who got in my way. It doesn't work. And I know we're all tired. Parenting is tiring. It is tiring. It is emotional, mental, and physical labor. It is taxing. It is... But we just don't have the luxury of like laying down on the job. We just don't. So if your kid is disrespect, bruh, I know you did not just say, please remove your dress. Bruh, if you're going to come to me with some broken fucking English, at least say, Jamie, please remove your dress. Not just please remove dress. I want my name in the request. Jamie, please remove your dress. And the answer is, of course I will, at the end of this video. All right. So, I want you to just be mindful as you go into parenting these teenagers. Just be mindful that a lot of times they speak to us that in a way that it's their way of defending them, like protecting themselves. They speak with disrespect because it's kind of like a guard. Like, oh, so your man's just going to be running around here? That's just like a defense mechanism for them. They don't mean to be disrespectful, I don't think. Not when they say things like that. You know, will you do me a huge favor? I know I ask you this all the time, but it's so cold. Will you put this in the microwave for 20 seconds? I like those shorts.
Thanks.
Can we do more parental advice talks? I grew up in foster home, so I lack proper ways to parent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Thomas, you're sweet. Look, at the end of the day, what's a form of bullying? Yeah, no, absolutely, Allison. Allison said, sometimes you do have to check them. Absolutely. I'm not saying that sometimes teenagers are not just disrespectful and they need to get checked. 150%. I'm just saying that sometimes you can back it up and look at, you can say, I don't like the way you said that to me, but I do think we need to talk about what you said. We need to have a conversation about what you said. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And nobody ever afforded me that. Nobody ever afforded me the, like, let's talk about what you are angry about or what you're being, like, let's talk about, you know what I'm saying? I was never afforded respect. My mother just parented very much like, I'm the mother and that's it. There was no conversation. There was no dialogue. She was the mother. She's old school, Italian, okay? And that was just her way. And so when my girlfriend called me and was like, she's so disrespectful, I don't owe her an explanation. I'm like, oh, but you actually do. You actually do owe her an explanation because she lives in that house too. And she's a young girl with a changing body and could whatever. And she wants to know if your man is going to be around all the time. She deserves to know that. And we got to stop looking at our kids like, I don't owe you shit, because you kind of do. You kind of do. And I'm not saying that I never, let me be crystal clear. I'm not saying that I never have a moment with my own children where I don't go like, because I'm the mother and I said so. I absolutely do have those moments. But more often than not, I'm like, where is that coming from? Because I want to know, where is that angst coming from? And then they look at me and a lot of times they feel bad for the way they spoke to me. And then they'll explain, well, I'm just frustrated because you always favor this one. And okay, let's unpack it. And this is the work in parenting, because now I got to unpack all this shit. And now I got to hear about how I always favor this one and I love this one more and blah, 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 which we all know isn't true. But you got to sometimes let them unpack it. You can't always shut them down with the like, because I'm the mother and I said so. And you want to know something truthfully? Michael has really taught me a lot of this because he came into parenting, Michael came into parenting very differently than I did. Very differently. He also kind of had like a parents like mine, not nearly as aggressive, but he just had a different approach. And I'm not talking about the things like, Why do I have to help in the house? Why do I have to clean up when I didn't make the mess? I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about like the stuff where there's clearly an emotional misunderstanding behind it. There's this conversation that needs to be had. So anyway, I've just been thinking about this, and there's been a lot of messages in my inbox about parenting, and it's like, I don't have all the answers. I just think that sometimes, like, the way that our parents used to do it, because I'm the mother and I said so. Well, okay, that doesn't help. I don't know. I don't think that works all the time. I think I am, thank you, Jen Crawford. I think I am working on becoming the mother I wanted when I was young. That's what I do. I try to be the mother I wanted when I was young. So when my kids act a certain, like, you know, Max, I struggle with Max. When he doesn't win, or I should say when he loses, he comes totally unglued. It's like ridiculous. He's the sorest loser. And I have to try to parent him in a way that reaffirms what he's good at. And that in life, you're going to lose sometimes. Like, it's fucking exhausting. You know, sometimes I want to be like, buck up, bro. You're 11. But, like, you know, I don't know. Gail, I love that for you, Gail. Well, Susan was amazing, too, in other ways. I give Susan all the shout-outs in the place where she gets shout-outs. Absolutely. Okay. Hey, Tone. Tone up 83. Did you have an auntie, a grandma? Yes. My grandparents were wonderful, and they spoiled the bejesus out of me. But, like, you know, they were just still my grandparents. You know, I don't know. Still, Susan was in charge, you know. Susan had my back. Whoo, did she? Listen, you didn't want to be on the receiving end if I went to Susan and said, so-and-so was mean, you know, whatever it is. No, Susan had my back. Susan was very accepting of me when I was young. Susan did a lot of good. Yes, she did. I'll give Susan a shout out wherever she deserves it. But thank goodness for grandparents. I cannot say enough about that. And listen, I think there was probably some resentment that my grandmother parented was so good to me, you know. Okay, Wesley, we joke about getting beat now, but, like, honestly, it's not funny. It's not funny, and it breeds resentment. And I didn't like it. You know? I mean, we can joke about the fact that Susan beat me with a belt and beat me with a dustbuster and shoes, but honestly, it's not funny. It's not funny to me. I don't like it. And I think we use it as trauma bonding a lot of times, Wesley. You got beat. Oh, I got beat. Oh, did I? I got beat with a belt. Oh, I got beat with a belt. Oh, my mom used to, you know, it's kind of like trauma bonding. But the truth is, I was resentful as shit as a kid, and I used to cry myself to sleep and literally think I wanted to kill her sometimes. Real talk. God forgive me, but there were a lot of times that I really was so resentful of getting hit that I wanted her to die. And I used to, listen, I was so fucked up that like when I was in high school and had access to drugs, I used to dream about putting acid in my mom's food and watching her bug the fuck out. That's how resentful I was of getting hit. That's why I don't hit my kids. I mean, sometimes I tug at their hair or pull their ear, but like sometimes I just have to really look at my kids, and I don't really love scaring them, but I can't I could never hit my kids with a belt. Never. The sound of a belt still triggers me. It's not funny to me. I don't like it. Nope. Anyway, all right, I'll take one question because then I have to go to work. Well, I just do want to say one thing. It's very important for you guys to hear this, okay? Just because I have moved on to a coffee talk subject today does not mean that I, for 1 second, have stopped thinking about, praying about what is going on in our country. I am extremely vocal about how I feel about it. If you want to look for how I feel about it, you can find it. I have been an ally for 30 years. It is not a new concept to me to speak out for what's right. It is not new to me. I am not newly woke in 2020 about the injustice of people who look different than me or a different socioeconomic status or a different whatever, but specifically in this instance, Black people, okay? This is not new to me, right? So I just want to make it clear that because I've moved on and gotten back to coffee talk does not mean that in my personal life I have moved on from doing what is right and using my voice and my every ounce of privilege I have to do what I can do and read and educate and raise empathetic kids and do all of that. So don't please for 1 second get it twisted that because I've gone back to coffee talk and gone back to regular scheduled program here, that for a second I am not still who I've always been. And know that is who I've always been. For gay people, for Black people, for Latinos, for Asian people, for Jews. Lord, for my people. Like, trust me when I tell you, single mothers, special needs mothers, special needs children fought on the front lines for IEPs when they didn't want to classify children so their parents could get them the help they needed. Let me tell you, I got a master's in special education for that reason. So, anyway, I just wanted to make sure we were good on that. Okay, let's go back to parenting for a second. Those of you who know the real, you know the truth. Facts. Because all you have to do is look. The people that hit me with the like, you're not speaking about it. I'm like, you didn't look. Lazy. Okay. Okay. I want to talk about parenting. If anybody has a parenting conversation. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I love your nose ring.
Thank you.
I always wanted to do it, even though I pierced like everything else on my body, but I was so afraid because I was just like, oh, it's going to hurt so bad.
It's in an area where it's going to hurt because it's your nose, but it really wasn't that bad. I had like my nipples done 4 times and that hurt.
What's your name?
Cassie.
Hi, Cassie. I'm Jamie.
Hi.
Hi.
I think there's a lag.
Okay. No, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay, amor. Is it parenting?
Yes.
Okay.
To talk with about Michael. So you had mentioned earlier that Michael was the one who kind of opened your eyes up to this way of parenting. And I was just curious how long it took you, or if you ever felt like you were bowing down. Because I'm kind of sort of dealing with that.
Okay.
The person I'm with thinks that I give my child too much credence. I allow for her to vocalize how she felt because that's how I was raised. So I think it's normal. But he thinks that, she just has way too much ground.
Right. And he thinks needs to stay in a child's place kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So that's how he was raised.
Yeah.
So he's not in the space of doing the work. He's not in the space of breaking the cycle because he doesn't see anything wrong with the cycle.
Yeah.
So in his mind, spare the rod, spoil the child, right? Like if we are not on her ass all the time, she's going to end up spoiled or whatever. And like,
yeah,
that's a real thing. I would say, so the thing that really almost destroyed Michael and I is that I felt he was always the good guy, right? And your husband probably feels that. So hear from my perspective, because that'll give you some insight as to how your man feels.
Okay.
Michael was always the one like letting them talk, giving them freedom of speech and shit in the house, and being real lenient with them. And I felt like I was always the bad guy, that I always had to reinforce. And what I realized was happening was my resentment with Michael was coming out in the way that I parented my kids, because I felt I had to hold on to my way harder because you're not going to undermine me. So I was stricter with them instead of just addressing the issue with him.
Gotcha.
So I took my level up here with them instead of coming to him and going, hey, you know what? I think this is about us.
Yeah.
Once we had the conversation of like, I feel like I'm always the bad guy. And let me also say that we've had the conversation 900 times because Michael doesn't really, when they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, they wrote that about my husband.
Yeah.
So we've had the same conversation 900 times. He now is like starting to get it. I'm like, boy, can you get it before they move out?
Yeah. We say that we have to say things the way his brain works. So I have to be able to reword things in order for his brain to get it.
Yes. So he feels like the bad cop all the time. So instead of like,
I think the dynamic is that he came into me and my daughter's life when I was a single parent, and so it's not his biological child. So he came into me and my daughter's, only relationship, right, between me and her.
Okay.
And he came into it without having a child of his own. So him having to learn his boundaries, because I wasn't allowing for him to discipline her, so it's been a really big learning experience. And I think a lot of the times he feels like he's bowing down because, if he doesn't do it my way, it's no way. And I'm trying on my behalf to be honest with myself and, letting things, being a little bit more lenient, letting him have a say so she doesn't, there's no respect there. I think that was the...
Well, that's because she knows mommy put the boundary up that he can't discipline her. So kids are smart. So she's kind of like, you can't really do shit anyway, so...
And she's only 8, so I'm like, I'm very open with her. I talk to her about it, and I think I'm slowly allowing for him to step into that role so she doesn't always constantly think that, your word means nothing, because then that's not going to work either.
No, that absolutely isn't going to work, especially if he really wants to be in that spot, if he really wants to be a father, and he's like really, like, if we're not talking about a 6-week relationship, if we're talking about...
He has been 100% dedicated to trying.
Okay, so what you should do is start small. When there's an incident and he's around, you say to him, you take it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And you step back, walk out of the room if you have to. Let him get his hands dirty a little bit. I don't mean put his hands on her, but let him get his hands dirty. Parenting is a 360 job. And a lot of times when people come in, I mean, even with Michael, who is my kid's biological father, I still say a lot of times, and I know it's wrong, I'm working on it, but a lot of times I still say, my kid. Don't, well, it's a trigger for Michael too, because they're technically his kids too, but I feel a lot of times like they're my kids, and So I think, and when he does punish her, or when he does discipline her, and it is, even if it kind of hit, I know, but you got to back him up. You got to back him up and show her, okay, sis, we're a team.
Yeah.
We're a team. You know how many times I come into a room and I'm like, don't talk to my man like that. Do not talk to my man like that. I wouldn't let any girl on the street talk to my man like that, so you're not going to do it in my house. And they're like, but he's my dad. I'm like, even more the reason why you don't talk to my man like that. I let them know, that's my man and I'm his girl.
Yeah.
We're a couple. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's my Clyde, I'm his Bonnie. Like,
yeah.
You know, so they know. I don't just say daddy and mommy. I'm like, nah, you can't talk to my man like that.
Okay.
So anyway, that, you know, I think you got to try and let him, and then you got to back him up, even if it tastes like sour milk.
Okay, will do.
One step at a time.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I love you. I love you too, baby.
All right, bye.
Whew. It is hard work. It is hard work to parent kids. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, Jamie.
Hi.
I am dying.
Are you dying? Don't die.
I have been trying to get on with you every day. I look terrible. Oh my God.
Why do women always say that? We always say that. You don't look terrible. You have no makeup on. You look gorgeous. You got full lips. What are you talking about?
Thank you.
What's your
watch
name?
you all the time.
What's your name?
Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Hi. You've helped me so much deal with my ex, who's a narcissist. And I missed the live just now, and I just got on, but I could see teenage angst. I'm having such a hard time with my daughter.
How old?
She's going to be 15 in August.
Okay. So when you say hard time.
Well, the divorce was tough.
Yeah.
He left me for my friend, but who's also her friend's mother. So it's difficult.
Okay, so he left you for her friend's mother.
Who was my good friend.
Classy guy.
He's living with her now. So my daughter is kind of playing the both of us. She wants to just do whatever is best at the time, and he doesn't see that. So it's a constant battle.
No, he sees it. It's not that he doesn't see it. He sees it. He just knows he's the bad guy.
My heart is racing right now, Jamie. I love you so much.
I love you too. But I mean this. He sees it. He just doesn't want to, he just knows he's the bad guy in the situation. So right now he can't be a dad. He's going to try to be a friend.
Which is what it is. It's always he's the fun dad now.
Of course.
Does all the fun things. So my daughter took off 2 weeks ago and decided that she wants to stay with him. No reason. I didn't even do anything. We weren't fighting. We weren't anything. And when I said to him, you're letting her go out. We're in quarantine. You're letting her go out every night with her friends, going to pools, going to here. I don't let her do that. I was letting her go, on walks with her friends or just hang out in the yard. But he's doing it every single night. She does whatever she wants. So, of course, she wants to be there. But he doesn't see it like that. He says it's me.
Okay, right. Well, of course it's you. So, first of all, I want you to create a box in your mind and put all of his words in that box. They have no weight. It's a weightless box. Okay? So anytime he says things to you like, it's you, she wouldn't do this if you didn't, it's you, if you.
Right.
Okay. You put it in the box, it's got no weight, no merit, absolutely none whatsoever, right? Who has physical custody of her?
We have shared custody. He's supposed to get them 2 days a week and every other weekend.
Okay.
And then me. I'm the primary parent.
So you basically tell her it's not up for discussion.
Which I have. He just comes and picks her up. Even
Okay.
when I say, no, you can't do that.
So then you tell him we're going back to court.
Which is what I'm doing now. I'm in the process.
And you let her know, and you let her know, and you let her know. You let her know. I will give my life for you. My life. And I am going to keep a running fucking tab on what it costs me to have you do what the court already said you have to do.
Right.
You think I'm going to fight with you? I'm not going to fight with you. You want to go be with your dad because he's the fun dad, and I get it. Right?
Yes.
You're annoyed that I won't give you the freedoms he gives you. I get it. I actually get it. I would want to be with the fun parent too. Right? I'm going to keep a running tab of what it costs me to get a judge to look at you and say, you have to do what I tell you to do, or your father's going to get in trouble. And then you tell her when it's time to get a car, when it's time to go to college, when it's time, I'm going to deduct it from the bill. No problemo, sister. I had to spend $3,000 for a judge to tell you what you already knew. So now we got to work off that $3,000. I hate it for you. Because the thing is that I even, like, this sounds to me, and I could be totally wrong because I don't know her, but it sounds to me, if you are telling us correctly, that she's just annoyed that you won't give her the run of the roost.
I think that's what it is. Although she'll say, oh, you pick fights with me, you're always yelling, and I'm just like, I'm not.
But are you? But are you?
What?
But are you?
Well, like, I have to yell at her, like, I wake her up at 10 o'clock. She'll sleep till 4 or 5 o'clock. You have to get up and do your school. I'll call her every hour, and she tells me, okay, doesn't get up. And that's when I start getting like a nut.
Right.
And so I yell, but I'm not like yelling at her like she's doing wrong things, or like she feels like I yell at her and I start fights with her. And I said to her the other day, I go, if I'm asking you to do something over and over and over, and I get nuts, I said, you just need to do it so the both of us are happy, and that's it. I said, that's not me yelling and picking fights. I said, that's me parenting you. I said, you have certain things in this house. You have to get up. You have to do your schoolwork. You have to try and keep your room clean. I don't ask for much from her.
Okay, so I changed my mind.
Okay.
I don't think you should go to court.
No?
Nope. I think,
well, he also now wants to change the custody to get more time with the kids.
So he could pay less child support.
When the kids are with him, now it's quarantine, but before that he would be working and never there. So it's like, why should I give up my time with my kids if you're not even going to be there? Like, I'm not giving it to you. I'm giving it basically to your girlfriend because she's taking care of them, not you.
Right, and the girlfriend probably lets them do a lot more too. It's a tricky situation. Here's the thing. You're a great mom.
Thank you.
And my experience with friends and siblings who've had kids go because they don't like the way mom's acting, I'm going to stay with dad, it's a threat, blah, they come back.
Right.
They come back. Because as soon as dad says no.
Right, that's what I'm waiting for now. I know he's going to get tired of taking her all over the place every night, and he's going to start getting mad and not letting her go, and then she's going to get annoyed and look to come back here.
Right. So I think, look, at the end of the day, if he's a good dad and it's a safe house, like meaning like he actually like loves his kids and is, you know what I mean? Like if he's a good dad,
he was a good dad, but now I feel like he just does things with them to spite me and to make them think that I'm crazy and I'm the nut and I was the reason why he left. And
I would let her go. Let her go. Just say, okay, if you think this is going to be a better situation, why don't we try it let's try it. Right?
Right.
The girlfriend will start to annoy your daughter. She'll start to feel resentful of that chick. Trust me.
Right, because when she's here, she tells me that she hates going there. So I don't know. And then he tells me, well, that's not what she says. And I'm just like,
well, teenagers do that. They play. I mean, Charlie's 9 and she tries to play us.
Right.
I would say take a deep breath. Right? Take a deep breath.
Right.
And let her go.
She's there for the past 2.5 weeks now. I haven't said anything about, you have to come home. I want you home. Because last time I did that, it backfired on me, and it just made me look like a lunatic. And so I said, fine, you want to go? Go ahead. And she's there.
She's playing you two against each other. And she thinks that when it gets a little uncomfortable with dad, she'll just come back to mom. So when she calls you and says, I want to come back, say, it's really not a good time for me right now. I have a couple of things going on at the house. Let me call you. I'll call you tomorrow or the next day and we'll figure it out. Show her you're not so eager for her to come running back.
You said to me, you have to keep texting her every day lovingly and reaching out. And I said, I've done that so many times. I said, I'm not doing that. She needs to know that I'm upset, that I'm not. So I have been kind of standoffish. I'm not texting her when I'm waiting for her to make the first move. And I feel that she knows kind of now that I am upset and I'm mad because she's been texting here and there very little. And I just, I give her the answer and I move on. Like I don't.
Yeah. Always be respectful. Respond. Yeah. Be respectful. Treat her the way you're trying to teach her to treat you. Right. If she texts you, text her back. Hope you're having a great day.
Right.
Right? Whatever. Right. Hope school's going well. But don't invite her back. Don't make,
right.
Don't make it a power struggle.
No, I know.
But just like, kind of, because listen, it's human nature to want to be wanted. And,
right.
And like, you're her mom. You don't got to beg. Like, she'll figure it out. Believe me, I promise you, she will figure it out.
Like I spoke to my therapist about it too, and I was going to do that and say, no, I don't think it's a good time for you to come back. She felt that I shouldn't do that. That she has to know that this is a safe place and she could come to.
She knows it's a safe place.
I know.
She knows that you didn't become an unsafe place in the 2 weeks. I'm just saying when if and when she's like, I was thinking about coming there tonight.
Right.
Say, oh, you know what? It's actually not a good night. I have a bunch of stuff going on, but why don't we talk tomorrow or the next day and see just so she understands that this isn't a diner.
Right.
That's all. That's all. That's all.
Right. Right.
I'm not saying you're not her beck and call girl. Like
that's what I feel like I am. I feel like I'm here just to serve her.
No, you're not. You're not.
Like I can't.
But I think we all agree that you are not in an easy position. Everybody will know this is not an easy position. And I would also like to reiterate, I do not have teenagers yet. So it's easy for me to sit here and go, here's what I would do. I don't have that, right? I can just tell you from someone who was an angry teenager.
Right.
That this is how I tried to manipulate my mom and I tried to do certain things. And, I remember my mom planning something when I first went away to school and she expected me to come home like on a weekend, and I decided to be spiteful and not come home. And I know she was so disappointed and I wanted her to feel that. And then when I had something to do and I was like, oh, I'm coming home I'm going to come home next Friday. She was like, you know what? It's not a good weekend, honey. We have a lot going on. So if you want to come home, see if you can find someone else to stay with. And I was like, bitch. And then I realized like, oh, okay, well, okay. I probably asked for that. But anyway, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
And I'm really proud of you.
Got to talk to you. I just want to say my nieces, I think are watching. Please get a screenshot because if I do.
Here, you want to take one?
Get disconnected.
You want to take one? Go ahead.
I'm afraid I'll get disconnected.
Well, even if you do, we could say goodbye now. Goodbye. I love you.
Love you. Oh, I got it. Love
you. Good. I love you too, baby doll.
I love
Have
you
a
so
great
much.
day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
I was hoping there would be a man, but there isn't. And I just thought it would be helpful if we had a male perspective, but Kyle's giving me the stinky eye, which means I need to go to work. All right. I love you guys so much. Follow through. They always say in sports, follow your shots. Same thing with parenting. So hard. Woo chile, it is hard. I love you all. Remember, there is still a pandemic. 22,000 cases in the last 48 hours. Please be safe. Wash your hands. Keep your distance. Just be smart. Be safe. I love you, love you, love you. Have a great, great day.